I'm getting to the ninja stuff. I'm going to show you some real ninja stuff. Just give me like 2 more minutes and I'm going to show you some ninja stuff that's going to make your head go, what? If you spent any time on LinkedIn at all, you probably get a lot of people checking out your profile and you probably get a lot of connection requests. But how do you know if those connection requests are real people? When you connect with a fake person on LinkedIn, there's a whole host of things that could happen that you probably don't want to happen. It's Chris Prouty. For those who don't know me, I built an online school after spending 20 years, more than that, 21 years, helping people attract clients to their businesses. My clients come to me because they have products or services that they know can change their industries, and they've had great success with the people that have come to them. But either they want more or they haven't been able to hit online in such a way that prospects are coming to them. And so we fix that with step-by-step plans that teach them how to get clients coming to them. A quick analogy, have you ever been sitting there and your phone rings and you pick it up and no one's there? And then within the next couple of hours, you start getting solicitation calls? What's happening is an automated robot phone dialer is dialing a bunch of numbers and it sees who picks up. And then it forwards those numbers to a telemarketer who calls to try to sell you something. Why am I telling you about this? Because that's exactly what's happening on LinkedIn as well. These fake accounts are being created by software and they are going into groups or they are seeking out people based on their titles and they're sending connection requests. Once you get connected, this is all happening through robots. A message is sent to you. You're either slammed with a sales pitch or more subtly, you're a gentle nudge towards the sales pitch. If you respond in any way, then you get handed off to a real human. So this is distributing the sales capacity of an organization. It's also bypassing a lot of the rules that LinkedIn has in place that keeps you from sending out tons of messages per day. If you can only send out, let's just say for round numbers, and I'm certainly not going to talk about algorithms or anything like that, but let's just imagine that you could send 10 connection requests per day and send 100 messages per day. That limits you. But if you created through robots 100 different accounts, well, now you've just multiplied your reach by 100, especially if you have automation that is helping you create these accounts. So that's what's happening here is these accounts are being created. They are reaching out to you. If you respond in any way, then you're handed off to a real human who takes over the sales process. It feels really crappy to have that happen to you because you feel like you've been duped and tricked. And if you've listened to me at all, you know that transparency and honesty are the things that we talk about all the time. And the more honest and the more transparent you are, the better you're going to do. So while these tactics might work in the short term, they're not going to work in the long term. I'm going to help you figure out how to figure out if these things are real or not. I'm going to share my screen with you. And on my screen, and look, hey Mark Miller, if you happen across this video and you're a real person, by the way, I know you're not, but if you happen to, please just let me know. Not only will I take this video down, I'll buy you coffee. But I'm going to tell you why why I think Mark Miller is fake. So I got a request for a connection from Mr. Miller, Mr. Mark Miller here. And I quickly did what I do to tell if these things are real or fake or not is I accept the connection and then I do everything I'm about to show you. And then if I determine that they're real, I keep the connection. If I determine that they're fake, I disconnect. I've already disconnected from him, but let me show you what I did. First of all, the first thing we do is we eyeball their profile and we see if anything jumps off the page at us. So there's no banner here. Right? So right away, that says something to me. If you're serious about using LinkedIn for marketing, then you're probably going to have a banner here. Here's the disconnect. Almost 12,000 followers without a banner? No, that doesn't make sense. There's a disconnect there. Why so many followers and no banner? Then the next thing I look is right here. Mark hasn't posted lately. Mark's recent posts and comments are displayed here. So Mark hasn't posted lately, but still has almost 12,000 followers. Why? Why on earth would you have that many followers if you haven't posted anything? Let's just go and show all activity for a moment, and then we're going to filter it by posts. Mark hasn't posted anything, yet somehow has 12,000 followers. It's 11,984, I'm rounding. So he hasn't posted anything, hasn't shared any documents, hasn't written any articles, but then if you go to all activity, you can see that he likes, but doesn't comment on a bunch of stuff. Why? Because robots really have a hard time commenting, but robots can like very readily. So interestingly, a lot of likes, even as recently as 4 days ago, when this was posted, but no user-generated content, yet still somehow has 12,000 followers. So there's a real disconnect there. There's a disconnect between the graphic treatment, there's a disconnect between the number of followers and the engagement on LinkedIn. So that's going to be the first red flag, and that's kind of you've got to use your secret super squirrel sense to look at this and go, wait a minute, something just isn't right here. We'll get a little more detailed in just a moment. So jot that down. We want to look at the banner, we want to look at the number of followers, and we want to look at the activity. That's going to be the first indicators for us. Next, this is my favorite. You know what? I'm going to save my favorite part for just in a few minutes. I'm going to show you something just so incredibly spy and super secret, but I'm saving it. I want you to hang on with me through this. So next, let's take a look at some of the writing. I'm just going to read this as it's written. So he starts with I'm right here, okay? I'm a graphic designer with 1 year of academic and professional experience in creating elegant and user-friendly graphics. I have experience working with data analytics to create impactful visuals and increase people's understanding of complex concepts. I'm looking forward to utilizing and growing these skills with Bonut Web, media, ethical, mission as a foundation. Everything was good. Everything sounded really, really good up until that last sentence where it all fell apart. I'm looking forward to utilizing and growing these skills with Bonut Web. That's fine. Media, ethical, mission as a foundation. What on earth? Will someone please translate this for me? This makes no sense whatsoever. Okay? So the mushmouth mash of words is not doing anything to help Mark, who appears to be, and this is just based on this image alone, appears as though maybe English is like the first or a second language that he's familiar with, but you would think growing up in Los Angeles, you're going to be able to speak English. So I don't know I've never seen these words together before. Ethical mission as a foundation. Whatever. So that's number 2. Then I'm going to go down here to his current position. So this is what's interesting. This is a red flag right here. My name is Mark Miller right here as the director of operations. So somehow this person has 1 year academic, 1 year professional, and he's been able to get a director position. Maybe Eileen Ryan, if she's here, I can't see the chat right now, but Eileen, maybe you can tell us how somebody with just 2 years of experience, and by the way, has been at this job for 2 years and 3 months, how they were able to secure a director's job. My name is Mark Miller. There's another flag for you. Goes from I to we. We're based in Los Angeles, California, dedicating to designing and developing best in class. Yeah. And then right here, the sales pitch. Okay. So it's all this, something, we. And then the sales pitch. Do you have an upcoming project? We design, build, and maintain mobile and web applications for today's demanding users. So the writing, this one's very subtle, my friends, this one's subtle, but boy, that writing really just does not sound right to me. Okay, you would spend a little bit more time with this. That writing just does not sound right. So that's the next thing you want to look at. I'm getting to the ninja stuff. I'm going to show you some real ninja stuff. Just give me like 2 more minutes and I'm going to show you some ninja stuff that's going to make your head go, what? What? If your head doesn't go, what? I want you to let me know because I want to make your head go crazy in just a minute. I'm going to make your head go crazy. Stay with me. Then we look at the experience. Okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe. Then we look at the education. Okay, years kind of match up. Very few endorsements. So you've got 11,000 followers, more than 500 connections, but your endorsements are practically empty. That's a little weird. Something's weird there, so you definitely want to check that out. Interests only in influencers. That doesn't really say a lot to me. But it's a very empty looking profile. And so that's the next thing you want to look at. All right. So from top to bottom, this is purely observational. All we've done is observe. The next thing we're going to do is click on contact info. Now, when I accepted this person's connection, I clicked on contact info. It looks exactly the same as it does when you're not connected. So the only thing here is the profile. There's no phone number or email or website or instant messenger or Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. There's no other links. The only thing we have is the LinkedIn profile. Boom, right away. Sorry, Mark, I don't think you're real. You're gonna love this. You ready? I'm gonna move quickly through this. You might have to watch this a couple of times. Step number 1, this person is a mobile app developer and a web developer. They're a web developer. So we're gonna go over to Google and we're gonna look for Donut Web Media. Ready? Now, you would think the website would be the first one to show up. Donut Media shows up. Media Donuts shows up. But nowhere does Donut Web Media show up because they don't have a website. So you can do a search for just Donut Web. You could put, I think he had Donut Web together. So let's just put that together just for the benefit of checking this out. So now Google is making a suggestion for Bonton. That's not it. So we'll just say only this. And look at this. The only thing we get is nothing. We get email lookups. So Donut Web doesn't exist as far as Google's concerned. But I really want to make sure that they don't exist. So I'm going to go here to Namecheap, which is where you register a domain name, and I'm going to do Donut Web Media, and I'm going to just check this out. Ready for this? Watch this. Donutwebmedia.com is available for $8.98 per year. It has not been registered. So no one has the website Donut Web Media. And that's what Mark Miller works. By the way, you don't even have to do all of that. There's no icon here. There's just a little generic icon that LinkedIn puts in. So this company doesn't even really exist as far as LinkedIn is concerned. But I really want to find out. So going to Namecheap, I was able to exist, but let's just give them a little bit of benefit of doubt. And I'm just going to do donutweb.com. And let's see, that's also available. The website doesn't exist. A web developer that doesn't have a website, how can it be? Because he's fake. Let's just do Bonut. I don't even know what a Bonut is. That's taken. We could go to it and see what it is. Bonut.com. I haven't done this, so okay, so there's nothing there, right? So there's nothing there. So that's just that's a placeholder. So Donut Web Media, none of that exists. So we've got a web developer with no website. Boom, another one, forget that. All right, you ready? Biggest ninja trick I can show you. What you might not know is that there are AI softwares that will generate profile shots. And they generate profile shots so human looking. Sorry, I hit the microphone. They generate profile shots so human looking that people cannot discern one from the other because it takes parts of faces and puts them together and uses AI to make them look really, really real. They used to not look real. You used to be able to tell. You can't tell anymore. And in some studies, as recently as March 2022, so just a couple months ago, people were 50-50 guessing right or wrong on whether or not it was fake or not. So they couldn't tell. They couldn't tell. So this, I don't know. I don't think this is an AI picture, but it might be. Could be. Watch this. Watch very carefully what I do here. I'm going to click on his profile photo, and it opens it up here. So really, whoever this is, very, very handsome devil right here. Now, watch carefully. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy image address. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm copying the address of this image. This is going to be important. When I copy that image address, what that allows me to do is I can now just open that image in a web browser, okay, because I've got that image address. Now I'm going to go to Google Images, images.google.com. I'm going to click on the camera, paste image URL. What this is going to do is it's going to show me everywhere on the web where this image is used. Once I click search, it is now searching for everywhere on the web that this image is used. Nowhere. This image is not used anywhere else on the web. That's the biggest indication that I could ever possibly come up with. By the way, if you don't trust Google, then we can go to TinEye, reverse image search, put the URL in here. 0 matches. If he's using this as his profile shot on LinkedIn, you would presume, especially it's him with a mate, a companion, he's probably going to use it elsewhere. Instagram, maybe Facebook. What's happening here is he's used an image showing him as someone who's in a relationship, and that will break down a psychological barrier for you connecting with them. It's very, very calculated. Now, 0 matches elsewhere suggests to me that this is an AI computer-generated image. Okay. Now, hey, let me drive this point home. I have my own image. My own profile image. So I'm going to show you this. Here's mine. This is mine from LinkedIn, right there. Okay, there's my big floating noggin inside of Google. So now we scroll down here. There's a review I did for a restaurant in Maine. That's now closed, sadly. Delicious restaurant in Maine, but they've been closed. But there's my picture there. There is my Facebook profile. I reviewed New Hampshire kettle corn. I gave them a nice review too. New Hampshire kettle corn is delicious. I will tell you that. I have it shipped to my home here in Florida. And then here's my YouTube channel. Here is my Twitter. And then we go to page 2. Next, there's YouTube. There's tweets by me. It says my name here, Chris Prouty YouTube, Chris Prouty YouTube. Here is a comment that I made just last week on a Facebook post from one of my private advisory clients. So you can see, as we're doing this, you can see that my picture is legitimately used elsewhere. And that is the most ninja thing that I can teach you about how to determine if someone's profile is real or fake. From the top, observation, looking for matches between data points like this banner and the number of followers, the activity and the number of followers, number of connections and the activity. Then we looked here, we did some reading, and we looked for weird words or weird use of words, especially for somebody who we would presume English is their language, their first language. Then we looked top to bottom and we saw that it was kind of empty, especially for somebody with so many connections. And then we looked for the website for the company, doesn't exist, especially for a web development company, kind of bizarre, kind of odd. And then we did reverse image search on the profile shot, and that turned up nothing. Drop some comments in the whatever so that I can whatever and you can whatever. Thank you so very much. I have to go. I am so grateful for all of you. I will see you all on the next one.